Today we're going to be talking about 10 of the most common mistakes that football players will make during the season. Mistake number 1, not competing during conditioning and just getting through it. So guys, at the end of every single practice during the season, whether you're about to enter Hell Week, whether you've been in practice for a couple of weeks, they always are going to have you do conditioning either throughout the workout, or throughout the practice, or at the very end of practice. And if you're trying to compete for starting time, you're trying to compete for a position, you're in a position battle, don't just get through conditioning. Let's say you're a receiver and you're in a group and the receiver room is like 10 different guys, right? You should try to be first out of all 10. Don't just get through conditioning. You'd be surprised how many guys just kind of cruise along as they're trying to get through it because it's hard. Compete. And if you are standing out and you're leading everybody every single sprint that you guys run, that's a great way to stand out to your coaches, impress your coaches, and they will trust you with the harder stuff. Now, mistake number 2 is going to be missing practice for any circumstance, you guys, especially since fall camp has started for a lot of you at the time of making this video, which is in August. There's no excuse to miss practice. You cannot miss a single padded practice during the season. So, or even a walkthrough, any situation, you should not miss a practice, you guys. And now a lot of people will say like, oh, well, coach, practice was optional, or coach, I had an appointment, I had a haircut, whatever it is. None of that crap matters, you guys. You have to put football first. And if you're not putting football first and you're not attending different practices or you're missing practice all the time, I don't even care if you're sick. You should still go. Like, unless you're like deathly ill on your deathbed sick, that is the only excuse to be able to miss practice. Or maybe you had an immediate close family member pass away. That's maybe okay. But I'm telling you right now, guys, high school coaches hate it when guys miss. They may not even tell you that too. You might tell them, hey coach, I'm gonna miss practice. They might be like, oh, okay. Because they stop listening as soon as you say that you're not gonna be there. And that's a great way for them to not trust you and not count on you with your actual position responsibilities. So guys, challenge yourself to not miss a single practice. Now also, fellas, if you are a football player and you guys would like to train with us this off season, we're gonna be coming out to 15 different cities across the US for 2-day long QB and wide receiver training camps. If you would like to train with myself, my staff of coaches, check out that very first link in the description below. We're going to be coming out to San Francisco, California, Orlando, Florida, Phoenix, Arizona, Charlotte, North Carolina, Austin, Texas, Chicago, Illinois, Seattle, Washington, Las Vegas, Nevada, Newark, New Jersey, Birmingham, Alabama, Houston, Texas. Then we'll be heading out to Boston, Massachusetts, Columbus, Ohio, Boise, Idaho, and Los Angeles, California. So guys, if you're local to one of those cities, we would love to have you out. Check out that very first link in the description below. Now, mistake number 3 is going to be going half-ass in the weight room, you guys, especially if you guys are in high school football and you guys have lifting. Let's say like a regular, this is at least what my practice schedule was when I was playing high school football. It was like Monday we'd have practice, Tuesday we'd have practice, those would be hard days. Wednesday we would kind of have like a half practice, half walkthrough. We'd be in t-shirt and shorts, sometimes maybe shell. And then Thursday would be a walkthrough, Friday would be the game. Saturday we're in there watching film, but Saturday and Sunday we're off, not doing anything physical. You need to make sure that on Monday, Tuesday, or any days that you are lifting, you are not half-assing it. I'm telling you right now, a lot of guys, because they're wearing the pads, the helmet, it's hot, they don't want to practice, they lose strength and they will start to lose weight if you are skipping things in the gym, you guys. So make sure that if a coach is giving you a specific amount of reps that you need to do, make sure that you're doing it. And on the weekends, you should be lifting at least one time. Even if it's just a simple workout where you're doing 3 sets of 10 on maybe like 4 or 5 different exercises, that is completely fine. Just make sure that you are lifting. So even if you're lifting to just maintain, because you do not want to lose strength and you do not want to lose size as the season continues on. Now, mistake number 4 is not knowing your weekly assignments as a player. So I remember back when I used to at least coach high school football and when I played high school football, the guys that would always get chewed out by coaches, not given opportunities when it comes to getting play time on regular offense or defense would be guys who did not know that they were on certain special teams or didn't know their responsibility on special teams plays. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. I was always like the field goal holder. Like, even when I started, I always held field goals for whatever reason. I guess I was good at it. It's really not that hard of a job. But every single week, they would have different calls for me. So what I mean by that is, like, I would have to give out like a specific protection to the offensive line, then I would catch the snap. So like, it would usually be a color. So one week the color would be white, next week the color would be black, and then we had different calls. Like if I said red, that meant that I was gonna pull the ball, roll out to the right, and we were gonna do a trick play. If I said blue, we'd roll out to the left. And so I had to make sure that I knew those responsibilities every single week, and I had to pay attention to different special team sheets. I'm assuming a lot of you guys playing high school football will get something called a practice plan, which is usually just like a little like packet of stuff that you're gonna be adding on throughout the week as a team, because every single week the practice plan can change. So you need to make sure that you know your responsibilities. You don't want to be that guy that neglects that type of stuff and then you get embarrassed when you're on the field by your coaching staff. Now, mistake number 5 is not understanding that your playbook is going to change. A lot of people get like, I hear all the complaints, all the excuses from athletes that I train, you guys that comment under the videos, and I do appreciate the feedback because it helps me come up with ideas is to tell you this type of stuff, but understand, guys, that your playbook is not set in stone. A lot of people are like, oh, well, coach added on all these new plays, so I'm confused. Yeah, guys, that's football, and that's gonna be football for like literally, let's say you play all the way up into the NFL, that's gonna be football from now all the way until then. They change the playbook every single week based on the team that you are playing. Like, I'll give you a little insight from when I used to coach high school football. I coached for a year, absolutely hated it, but it helped me learn a lot from how a coaching staff actually prepares for a game. Our staff, we'd be in there on Saturday morning at 7 a.m. We were not getting paid, by the way, to be there, because that was not like, as a coaching staff, you get paid like a stipend, especially if you coach at a public school, it ain't that much. So we're there specifically for you guys to come up with a practice plan and to prepare us for the team that we were playing that specific week. So what we do is film from literally 8 a.m. to probably 5 p.m. at night. That's a full day, guys. That's a 9-hour day. And we would do the exact same thing on Sunday. So we'd be putting in 18 hours on Saturday and Sunday, not to mention practicing Monday through Thursday, and then having a game on Friday. It's a 7-day-a-week job. And what we were doing on Saturday and Sunday is figuring out, okay, this team likes to do this. We're trying to figure out their tendencies. How can we adjust our offense or our defense based on them? So what we're gonna do is we have a set in stone playbook that we made in the summer, but we're gonna make adjustments to that playbook and add on different plays because we know it's gonna work versus that specific defensive look or offensive look that they come out against. So understand that as a player, you gotta be able to learn on the fly and be able to adapt on the fly. Don't be all panicked because, oh, you added on 2 or 3 new plays. Expect it. That's the way football's played. Mistake number 6 is going to be not getting enough sleep or not getting quality sleep as a player. So guys, I get it. Like this time of year, especially, like we're filming this video and it's like the second week of August, right? So most players, and this video is filmed on a Monday. Yesterday was Sunday, so I had a bunch of high school players, a bunch of youth players come out to do different training sessions, quarterbacks and wide receivers, right? And what everybody was saying is like, oh, we had practice 5 days this week. I'm tired. My body's hurting, whatever. And then I asked, well, how good are you sleeping? How much are you sleeping? Well, not that much. You know, I'm playing video games late, whatever. Like, guys, you need to prioritize your sleep because it's a 7-day-a-week job or damn near 6-day-a-week job, especially when you're in season. And now, like, let's say you're like a player, like let's say you're a receiver, right? Like, let's say you're not a quarterback. You're getting hit. You have to block, you're getting hit over the middle, you're getting tackled. All that wear and tear will build into your body, especially if you're lifting like how we're talking about, you're conditioning after practice. You get very, very worn down by the end of the season. And a lot of high school guys do not, even middle school guys, don't prioritize their sleep. So what I can recommend you when it comes to sleep is at least 2 hours before you go to bed, don't eat anything. Because you want to get, like ever see everybody talks about getting like that 8 hours of sleep, right? I honestly don't think that you need 8 hours. If you could get 6 quality hours. If you get 8 quality hours, fantastic, that's great. But to get quality sleep, what I recommend, and I suggest you try this, don't eat anything 2 hours before you go to bed, and don't watch and don't have any screen time at least an hour before you go to bed. So that means your phone, that means the TV, that means a computer, that means video games. Don't have any screen time. That blue light is not good for your eyes. So just guys, trust me when I say this, don't eat anything 2 hours before so your food is fully digested and you can sleep and all the blood can go to your brain. That's how you get quality sleep, and you don't look at any type of screen time at least an hour before you go to bed. And trust me, you're gonna feel more energized the next day and have more energy at practice. Now, if you're a quarterback, guys, and you wanna get better at reading defenses, check out that second link in the description below where we have over 500 different videos all based on reading coverages. I put a play of film, it's NFL film, college film, high school film, and I draw on the screen, point out different coverages, point out where the quarterback should look, and then we break it down. So guys, check out that second link in the description below if you wanna improve your football IQ. Mistake number 7, not eating enough so you lose weight throughout the season. So remember when we were talking about lifting? Yeah, and you wanna go hard in the gym, especially if you guys are working out 2 days, 3 days a week, you need to make sure that you're getting your lifting in. But what are you doing a lot of during football season as an athlete? You're burning calories, right? You're lifting, you're running, you're practicing, got all this gear on, you're sweating a ton, you're constantly moving around. So it's very, very easy for guys to drop weight. I've seen guys lose up to like 15, 20 pounds during the actual season because they're not eating enough. Because again, you guys have a full day at school and then you guys have a full practice schedule, then you got homework, and a lot of guys start skipping meals. Please do not skip meals. Take time before the next day to make meals so you don't have to spend all that time making it the day of and cram things in, and maybe sometimes you miss a meal because I get it, you guys have busy schedules. So make sure that you are getting the same amount of calories in that you were getting when you were on summer break. Now, mistake number 8 is not managing your time well in the classroom. So obviously, guys, I get it. You're a student athlete. Everybody loves to say that phrase, student athlete. Student comes first. You have to prioritize your grades. You have to prioritize all, and all that's true, you guys. If your grades aren't on point, you're not gonna be able to play college football. If your grades aren't on point, you might be academically ineligible to play high school football or middle school football, depending on the situation that you're in. So there is nothing negative about having a high GPA. Like, take it from me, the higher your GPA is, the more options you have for colleges, right? And a lot of times the higher the GPA can help you get into those colleges that may not be the biggest football schools. Like let's say you're from like a small town and maybe you're not getting recruited to play D1 ball and you're okay with that. But let's say you have like a 4.2 or 4.3 GPA. You could probably get into a lot of these Ivy League schools or schools that will set you up years and years and years after football, because football eventually ends for everybody. So I'm just saying, guys, manage your time wisely. And it's really not that hard. Like to have a bad GPA, you have to like kind of try to have a bad GPA, especially in high school, because it's really not that hard, you guys. Wait till you get to college, it's really not that bad. So just make sure that you set aside time. I would make a schedule for yourself and try to stay on that schedule. You know, hey, after practice, I'm gonna do an hour of this, I'm gonna do an hour of this, I'm gonna eat, then I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna go to bed. Like that, make a schedule, stay on the schedule, and trust me, you won't be as stressed out when it comes time to take finals, or you have to cram in for a test when you have a game the night before, etc. Now, mistake number 9, not watching film. I'm telling you guys this right now, what coaches do, and again, take it from me, was a high school coach. You guys all probably have the app called Huddle, H-U-D-L, and that's where teams will upload their film. They upload practice film, they upload films from other teams will send them film to like scout, etc. And you have game film on there, right? Coaches keep track of how many players watch film. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that before, but as soon as you make a Huddle account and you get accepted to your actual team, that's kind of how the process goes, they can monitor how much hours you've been on the app, right? So they can tell how much you're watching film. So don't be that guy that doesn't watch film, because trust me, coaches know. You need to be watching practice film, as that's how you can improve your own skills. You need to be watching game film, because you can improve from that to make sure that you don't make those same mistakes twice and in another game. And then you need to be watching film of your opponent so you guys can prepare accordingly. Now, mistake number 10 is only practicing when you're at practice. I think a lot of receivers, a lot of quarterbacks, any position, their skills kind of like fall off a cliff and they fall into very, very bad habits during the season just simply because they're not getting enough reps in, right? Like think about it from a quarterback perspective. Let's say you were training throughout the summer, you were working out like 4 days a week, you were throwing 4 days a week, which is what I'd probably recommend, 4 to 5 days, right? And let's say you were getting like 70 to 80 throws. I guarantee you at practice with your team, you're not getting 70 to 80 throws, especially you guys that maybe don't get a ton of play time, or 70 to 80 reps of anything. So you need to make sure that on the weekends, when you guys have some time off from actual practice, you are getting some type of workout in to sharpen your skills. So like for me personally, like I'm a quarterback coach, and like our quarterbacks, obviously like during the season, I don't see them Monday through Friday, but I'll see them on Saturdays, I'll see them on Sundays, and on those Saturdays and Sundays, those are tune-up days where we get a lot of reps in, we're focusing on specific bad habits that maybe they've fallen out in. It's my job to point out those bad habits and make it known to them, and you guys cannot neglect that type of stuff during the season so you can keep your skills sharp so you don't obviously have to think about it during a game.